Alright, welcome to Stackless. My mission is to provide high quality educational content on Bubble.io and all things no code. And today I'm going to show you just a very basic guide on Bubble.io, how to start, like a complete beginner's guide. So what we're going to do here is I've made an account with Bubble, and you should do so as well. Make an account. And I'm just going to basically go through everything with you and explain it in detail. You know, the database, where the elements tree is, and just really better your understanding inside Bubble itself. So you can, really just help you and get you on your way with your no-code journey. So Bubble is a no-code platform that allows you to make web apps without writing a single line of code, not knowing how to code at all. Myself, I've been using it for about a year, and I can say it's an incredible company in itself, and it really allows technical and non-technical people to do some pretty amazing things in the software space. And I really think it's the future of software development in the world. So the better you sort of adapt to it and learn it and have an understanding, it's just really going to benefit you in all sort of areas. So I've made an account, and I'm going to explain everything in detail for you. So this is where your apps will be stored. So once you've made a new app, they will all pop up here. As you can see, I've got a fair few, but I'm going to make a new one just for tutorial's sake. Naming your app, this is what your app will be called. So I'm just going to call this just our channel name here. Basic features. So when you first download Bubble, you start on a free plan. So it's a freemium business model. So you can use their services for free, but if you were actually going to publish the app, or you were looking to take it live, that is when they would charge you for using their services, which is fair enough. So we're going to go start with basic features. Like I said, that's just the basic features. It's the freemium version, so free premium. And then we load in here. We get an option. So we have our name. We can change that again one more time before we load in. Next step. And right here we can change the app font. We can do this again all in the app, but I like to just for procedure's sake set this up. So I want to change it just to Inter. I like it, just a clean font. And we're going to skip the rest. I'm going to explain it all now for you. So when we first load into an app, we have a blank canvas. This is basically like a piece of paper that we're adding things to, and basically like the canvas that everything will be built on. So when I hit an element, I press on it, we have an element inspector here. Everything comes up. This is how we edit and change the sizes, the element contents. Everything we do inside Bubble is done with this element sort of inspector right here. So the container layout, we have row, column, and fixed. Rarely use fixed, which means that, so say if I was to add an element in from the elements tree on the left hand side, we could draw or make it any kind of size. I'll show you just for example's sake, like that. That's how it'll look, but it becomes problematic because it's a fixed width of the container, and then usually a container or a group, which is what you use everything for in Bubble, contains elements. So when you are looking to make it responsive, it just doesn't work as well. So most things we use columns here. Well, 99% of my apps are all columns, and the default builder width is usually 1200. But I'm not going to get into the sort of nooks and crannies and all this specific stuff. I'm just going to try to show you around the user interface and how it all works. So on the left here, we have the elements tree. So this is all the elements inside of the app. This is all our things we want to add. So, we want some text. We can paste in some text. And as I said, the element inspector is popped up. You can type anything in. And we can change the size here. We can change the color of that. we can change the size of the actual text like so, and then we can change a lot of the other properties. So fit with the content, we can center this like that and take it back. So if we wanted to add in an image, we simply drag and drop. So it's really a lot simpler than coding itself. Obviously, I'd be lying if I said to you that it's not it's all easy, it's all rosy. Like it still is very challenging in some stages, especially when it comes to the workflow section and data and custom states, and it's just it takes a bit to get your head around. But once you do so, it's pretty easy. So, or easier than writing code. So we have the images here on the left, and we have a bunch of other elements here. So that's basically where you choose your elements from. So we have inputs. That's could be an email, could be a password, placeholders. That's how you edit it all, and this is how you change the responsive, the width of elements, and so the element inspector is like what you use for everything. That is what this is called, and that is what you need to be familiar with. So I'll just quickly skip over the design for now. So that's what you're going to remember, guys. We have a canvas and the elements tree. Oh, in the workflow section, so the left tab is the workflow section here. This is, say you click a button, something happens, an input is changed. This is basically like the brains of your app, like where everything goes on. So, to make it functional, the workflow section is, it's really, like as I said, it's a little bit harder than the design aspect, but I'll just quickly show you example's sake. So, just for example, we're going to add in a button here underneath the input. On the input, just like that. I'm just going to have this say nothing, then we're going to add a workflow. So on the button, because it's a clickable element, we're going to add a workflow here. Button A is clicked, and then you can see, so when something happens, we want what to happen. So something happens and something needs to change, or whatever, like in that case, whatever we want it to do. So we have a whole different array of options here. And we could sign the user up, and then I'm not going to go into that because it's the video will be an hour long. But that is basically the workflow section and how things happen. So when button A was clicked, something happens. Moving down, we have the data. Now this is like basically everything that will be stored inside your app. So as you can see, you have a user. So think of so we have data types on the left, and we have data fields. So a data type is a user, and then you think of, well, what is the data types of a user? Well, we have, an email. So basically you think when you sign up for something, what would you input into another application? So, my username, my address, my email, my password. It's a good way to think of it is to split it. So then you could have another data type could be like books, just for absolute example, title of the book, author of the book. It's really like as simple as that for the data types. The styles is where you set all your element styles up. So once you load an app, it'll be a certain way, default by Bubble. But if you were making an app and you were using similar styles and buttons and colors throughout your whole app, you come here, and as you can see, like I'll select an input here, and we can change it all, and it stays like that throughout our whole app, which means that we don't have to keep coming back in, constantly changing and editing it, which is obviously a massive time saver, and it's really a must, to be honest. So that is the style section. And then the plugins here. So this is the plugin section. This is basically how our Bubble app talks to third-party services. So we want to add in maps, for example. We want to add in anything Stripe for payments. We want to add in ChatGPT. It's all done through the plugin section on the left here. So we can add a plugin, and the main plugin is the API connector. So if we scroll down and we untick third-party developers, and then we want to search API connector, that is the main one, Bubble right here. and we add another API, and that's all the calls. And as I said, I won't go into that because it'll be a very long video. But that is, this is how we, or where we communicate with other services, is through the Git plugins library on the left here. And the settings, so you can see we have the plan. So we can change the plan here. So we have a free plan, and it tells you everything that it comes with. And then obviously the starter, if you are, as I said, publishing your app, you need a custom domain. So the starter plan is what you would need. And to actually make an app public, you need to be on the starter plan. All the settings, domain, languages, SEO, APIs. You don't really need this too much compared to the others, but the rest is logs and doesn't really matter too much. But if we were to go back into the Bubble homepage, we have the marketplace and the academy. So the academy is a really good way for you to learn if you're new to Bubble. So as you can see, new to Bubble, try one of our getting started courses. So you can do a getting started with Bubble. And it's been done by Gregory John, who is one of the best Bubble developers in the world. He's kind of the top dog when it comes to Bubble and no code. He's a really good teacher and someone I even watch myself. So they have a load of tutorials, so you can using APIs and sending ... using the chart element, defining fields as a list, logging with Facebook. It's really got a lot of lessons that will teach you about Bubble itself, and it's kind of a very good way to get started in Bubble. So with channels like mine giving tutorials, and then like as I said, Gregory John at Build Camp, and Bubble itself, it's sort of, they make it as easy as possible, because as I said, it can be pretty challenging. It's not, everyone likes to make out like it's all rosy and very easy and drag and drop. It's definitely not. So, the quicker you learn and get into it and just sort of jump in the deep end, and, they've got everything, signing a user up, create a card component, they've got the whole lots here. So, so if you like this video, I'm happy to do, a part sort of 2, 3, 4, and 5 of all this, and explaining you how to basically connect the APIs and everything like that. So, just make sure you leave a comment, like and subscribe, please, because it really does make a difference for me. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.